right. Are we back? Whoa, this is way zoomed out. I can't see anything. All right, there we are. There we are. This is what I have to do when I haven't done an episode in so long. Jeez. We're back. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Shambam Podcast, SBP, whatever you want to call it. It has been quite a while. To be honest with you, I was thinking about maybe either stopping it. I was going to conclude with an episode. I wasn't just going to leave it in the dark. But then, I don't know. I felt like I shouldn't. I felt like there was something here, you know. There was something here, and I wanted to see what it was. So I said, screw it. I wanted to start it back up again. I thought about making a new one, but as you guys told me, as you let me know, you want to keep seeing Shambam in the house. So here we are with another episode. I don't know what episode number this is, honestly. I forgot. I think we barely hit 100, which we didn't really do anything special for the 100 episode. I think I had Niniv. Yeah, Niniv was in for episode 100, and then I had the episode with, I think the latest episode was the one with IB Shocker and Kevi3TM, and their release, Run-On Sentences, their EP. Yeah, that's what we had. And yeah, which I want to kind of, should I just gloss over all this? I'm like, should I gloss over everything? There's a lot that I want to say, but I'm like, I don't know if I should say it because it's going to just be like blabbering and just freaking word vomit, and it's not going to make any sense. But you know what? That's what the podcast has been for the whole time. People seem to like it. They stuck around. They still want it. So I'm just going to throw up on the mic, I guess, right now. Yeah, I was wanting to start a new podcast, essentially, because I think I wanted to actually keep doing a podcast. Now, whether that was going to be a new podcast or keep doing this one, that was a real question. Because in all honesty, the only reason why I wanted to do a new podcast was I started this podcast a couple years back. It's kind of special, this one, in the sense that if you go all the way back to episode 1, I'm still living in my parents' place. And that's where I started it. It was in my parents' RV that we had in the back. And then it was in it. And that's where that was special. But for me, that's where all the charm ends. Because not that I'm any sage now, but I'm a bit more mature than I was back then. I know a little more, and I can recognize how dumb I was. Oh man, the cringe of those episodes, man. The cringe is unbearable. So that's one of the things I wanted to do with making a new podcast, is to bury all that old stuff so my kids don't have to freaking watch that if it stays alive. And then I can bring in a new podcast with a brand new Kev who's enlightened. But no, you know, I'm gonna stick with this one. I like it here. It's comfy. I've established who I am. People know what to expect when they show up. So, if you're listening, you know me. You know what I'm about. You know what I talk about. I got a nice Sprite going on over here, which is great. I should have had a coffee, honestly, because I feel like coffee brings out... Actually, you know what? Maybe it wouldn't be a good idea to have a coffee. Reason being, I was talking to my buddies, and we were talking about coffee and the effects of caffeine, or like why we enjoy or appreciate caffeine in our systems. And for me, what I said is it helps me focus. So when I have caffeine, the stereotypical thing about caffeine is that gets you all hyper and it amps you up. And, you know, in cartoons and freaking Looney Tunes or freaking Tom and Jerry, it was always like, you know, they get all hyper, you know, whatever. I never really got hyper. I think I just focused. It gave me these like kind of horse blinders kind of vision where I could focus at the task at hand. I wasn't thinking, because how my mind works, and one of the reasons why I do just spew out nonsense 24/7 is because my mind is this giant umbrella that just spans into oblivion, into infinity and beyond. I think of one concept, and then it goes to the next one, and then it goes to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And that's how I get from like talking about computer pads to like NASA's space shuttles, and maybe they'll have peanut butter in their radiators. I don't know what I talk about. Like, and then I end up there, and then I'm like, wow, how did I end up here? No one's listening anymore. And that's how some episodes, to me, went off the rails. And I was like, nobody's going to like this. I'm wasting my time. But that's what caffeine does for me, is it lets me narrow, like focus on a topic, or a certain thing. So like if I'm at work, I'm programming all day. A lot of my job is kind of redundant. I do have to, it does get like interesting, and I do have to, you know, think of solutions and things like that. But a lot of it is redundancy and like just kind of like normal patterns of behavior, I guess, on the job. And then my mind goes, once I know my job, right? Once I knew my craft and how to do it, my mind just started playing around. And then I would I'll catch myself spacing out too much. And then I'm like, shoot, I can't, like, and it would just, you know, mess up my workflow. I would make mistakes because I spaced out in the middle of something. And what caffeine does for me is it lets me focus, you know? I can actually focus on what I'm doing. I'm not thinking about a freaking cow in Oklahoma that might be eating some fresh grass and the effects of that. So yeah, that's why I like caffeine. And so maybe if I had caffeine, if I try to use that, enhance my behavior and focus on that on the podcast, I might like stumble a lot more because I'm caffeinated and because I'm more focused on one thing and not this spew of things that people so happen to enjoy, apparently. So maybe the caffeinated me isn't really good, you know? Maybe it's not really great, but went on a fun trip this weekend. A lot has happened, I guess, since my hiatus. I need to bring this mic closer. I need to get closer up here. A lot has happened. Yeah, wow. But like, I don't know how far back to go to fill you guys in, because in reality, a lot has happened since episode 100. Not the one with IB Shocker and Kevy. Because that one I was focusing more on them than I was updating you guys about my life and, you know, the usual stuff. But let's talk about that. Yeah. So, then I'll go back to the trip that I just mentioned that we just got back from. Oh, and fun fact, Milo's still Milo. He just pooped on the carpet like minutes before I started the episode again. So there you have it. He's still alive. He's still well. He's still pooping in the house. I don't know how to fix it. He's out of control. What was I going to talk about? Kevy 3TM. Yeah. So that episode, it was pretty crazy because I was actually thinking about hitting those guys up because when Eric was on Sabios, he told me about them, and then when Jesse was on, he told me about them. IB Shocker, and so I was like, okay, like I was kind of like, I was paying attention, you know. I followed him on Instagram, and I was seeing what he was about, what he was doing, and then I was thinking about bringing him on, you know, because I had interviewed not interviewed, but like I've gotten guests where I've tried to hone in on certain topics, right? Because this podcast, I was exploring the podcast genre of interviewing people. Anyway, you know, like we got Ashanti on here and talking about her makeup journey. Of course, we got Eric and Jesse. We got Sabios and UOJ. by the way, Yo Jay, you solidified on the podcast that you were gonna drop some music, and I want to hear it, man. Dude, honestly, if you're listening, like, you gotta put something out. Just put something out. Don't think about it too much. If honestly, I would actually be really down with a collab. If we want to make something together. I'm an amateur, so I might not help you too much. I'm probably not gonna do you any justice, but I would be really, really down to getting you on, getting you into stewed, and then we can try something. You know, it's all about trying. It's all about taking that first step. But anyway, what was I talking about? Okay, yeah. You know, I got them on, and we would talk about more specific things in terms of like their certain craft. So then I was like, I wanted to maybe get into interviewing people in the music biz. So I was like, I might get these guys on. And then they actually reached out to me first. So I was like, okay, sick. Like, this is going to happen. Sweet. So then they reached out to me. We talked about, you know, the deets. And this is the first time I'd actually ever tried to be very professional in the podcast, okay? This is the first time. And also I was kind of like out of podcast shape in the sense of by then I was already on a little hiatus, right? I hadn't uploaded since episode 100 for a couple months, I think, or if not a month at least. I think it was a couple months. So then I was like, oh crap, like I had to try to wind back in and try to be more profesh. So then, you know, I talked to them prior. We got to know each other a little bit, told them what it was going to be like. And then I got them on. And I think the podcast went fine. I think I could have done much better on my part in my interview with them. I think I did them a disservice. Here I go again saying I suck. But that's who I am. Anyway, but it turned out cool. It was a cool experience. And we made some friends, you know. We made some friends. They're doing really good, by the way. If you haven't noticed, if you don't follow them, you should go follow them. IB Shocker, Kevy3TM, whatever socials they've got. Just look them up on Google. It probably show up. IB Shocker just released a new music video as of today. We are on July 11th. He didn't release it today, I don't know, but it's recent, and Kevy3TM just released one of his singles called Memories, which is freaking fire, by the way. Honestly, that's probably my favorite song of his, Memories. Go check it out on Spotify. That's where I found it, and I'm sure it's on other platforms. Anyway, I was trying to be more profesh. So that was my first attempt at being a professional interviewer, podcaster guy. So take it for what it's worth. Quickly, I then realized, though, that that's not the route I wanted to take. It's not the route I wanted to take. It might be because I had been just doing the podcast for the whole time, this format, where it's more just like a roller coaster of ideas. You know, it's not anything specific. And I think I did have a coffee on that episode, so I was trying to focus, right? I was trying to focus, do my job properly. But yeah, it's been a ride. So that was our last episode. Was with Kevy and Ivy Shock and Shock. And then before that was with Niniv. So yeah, I haven't updated you guys on much, actually. I don't think a lot has changed, though. Nothing much has really changed on this front. Yeah. Nothing's really changed. I do have a couple notes, but before we get to those, I want to just make sure I get everything that was in the top of my head out there, because I'm going to think about it later. We went on a trip, which was cool. Little mini vacation. It was kind of spontaneous. My buddies were out in the Bay Area, so then we went out to their spot. We camped out for like a couple days. We stayed there for 3 days total. We camped 2 nights, so stayed there 3 days. We got back today. It was fun. Everything's getting really expensive, by the way, in California, as a lot of you know. Gas is outrageous. Everything is expensive. So that's about all that's changed, really, is the price of everything. COVID's still around. Are we vaccinated? Are we not? What information can we trust? You know, it's all going downhill. But this podcast is not about this news. Podcast is about everything else but this news. I was trying my, I don't know why I'm doing Southern. I was trying a different accent this weekend. Just yet. It might happen tonight. Just not right now. But anyway, with everything that was like in my head at the moment out of the way, let me go to the notes and see what I do. Oh yeah, what I did write down. And I do actually want to talk about. Okay, I'm adding new things before I talk about this. So let me just save those. Let's talk about this. Courtney and I are looking to buy a house. Right, horrible time to look to buy a house. So now we've calmed down a little bit, but we were looking. And where do you go to look? Zillow. Am I right? You go to Zillow, or you just type in houses for rent, to buy, for sale, houses for sale, and start looking. After a long time of looking, I think I was spending quite a bit of time just looking at the houses in the market, feeling depressed as to how expensive everything is and unaffordable. For just a freaking trailer in like the worst parts of town, it's like $300,000. After a lot of that, I decided to do the usual and go into the most expensive houses on the market, right? So like we all do this. You just go on Zillow, type in, oh yeah, my budget is $10 million. Let's see what houses I can buy. Then I was browsing through, expensive locations already. So I was like in San Francisco or something. Typed in 10 million, seeing what's up. Some of those houses, honestly, man, I was like, yo, this is not worth 10 million. Like, these guys are crazy. But then the housing market is also crazy, so. And then I was like, yo, do hyper rich people ever do that in the reverse order? So, like, do hyper rich people ever think, like, I wonder how, like, us normal people live and what houses we buy? And then they'll go into like Zillow and type in like, I don't know, freaking $300,000 max budge, and then go in and be like, yo, what do I have? What do we got? Do they ever do that and then be like, yeah, I couldn't do that? I don't know. It was just a stupid thought I had. It's a stupid thought. See, it's moments like this that made me think like, yo, I should maybe start over and come in more profesh with an actual goal in mind. But maybe not. Bill Burr is one of my guiding, what do they call them? The guiding stars, or I don't know sayings, man. But I look at his podcast a lot for inspiration for what I do, because we kind of do the same thing, where he's alone, he gets on the mic and he starts giving his ideas on current events or something like that. So I guess this podcast is the same thing, except I don't give ideas on current events. I give ideas on my own ideas. I expand on my own thoughts that I have. But speaking of current events, freaking Conor McGregor, man, that ankle said good night. I'm not doing this anymore. I hate watching videos of people's like fractures. I think that's the main thing for me, is like usually if it's like a deep cut or something like that, or maybe like the skin was pulled back a little bit, I think generally I still don't like that, but I'd much rather look at, if I had to look at those kinds of images than looking at a broken bone, like bent like the wrong way. It gets me so queasy. Like, I cannot. It's disgusting. But anyway, we were all up in the Bay over the weekend, and then we watched a video of Conor McGregor's leg saying goodnight, and I was like, shoot, I can't. Like, that was his face as soon as it happened. Courtney pointed out, like, dude, look at his face, and I saw it, and it was like, dude, as soon as it snapped, he was in pain. Oh, and he was like backpedaling too. Freak. Conor McGregor, I honestly never heard about him. And I can't do this topic justice because I'm not a MMA watcher. But like, I had never heard about him until he did that big old fight with oh my gosh, the boxer. We know what you know what I'm talking about. Mayweather. There you go, freak. When he got in the ring to do MMA and he lost, Mayweather did. Did Conor do one? Wait, here. I'm in front of a computer, so why don't I freaking just look this up, yeah? I can even look up topics here. 'Cause I can cheat. I can literally cheat, and I'm still not making a good podcast. I can literally cheat, but we've still got no good podcast going. Conor McGregor did. Conor. I can't spell Conor because I'm dumb. McGregor box with Mayweather. Mayweather defeated Conor McGregor via 10th round He did box him. So wait a minute. Did they do they did both? Excuse me. Shoot. My gosh, man. I'm sorry about that. I'll probably do it again in a bit, though. Defeated Conor McGregor via 10th round technical knockout in their crossover boxing match in 2017. The fight is widely regarded as the most high-profile fight in combat sports history. Mayweather improved his undefeated record to 50-0. You can't really count that, can you? Because he wasn't a boxer. He was an MMA fighter. With a win over McGregor and retired from professional boxing. So, hold up. Mayweather retired after that fight? So did Mayweather just want to have like that 50, the big old 5-0 before he, called it? That seems kind of cheap to me. I mean, I'm not knocking McGregor's ability as a contender, but like, he wasn't a boxer, A lot of techniques that McGregor relied on to win, further his career were being barred because it's boxing and there's very strict rules as to boxing, kick and stuff or go for takedowns and stuff. Anyway, I didn't know that. So did they ever do I could have swore they fought in the octagon. Mayweather versus McGregor, MMA. And August 17th, Mayweather defeated Conor in the boxing ring. Yeah, it was always in the boxing ring. Oh, wait, here. In a recent interview with ESPN, McGregor, 21, for MMA, 9 to UFC, revealed verbal agreements were in place for the two combatants. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. I can't read. For the two combat sport icons to compete in an MMA fight. He's not going to do mixed martial arts bout like he said. Do a mixed martial arts bout like he said, McGregor. So they never did fight in the octagon. It was just boxing. Wow, really? So Mayweather was like, fight me, I beat you, I'm out. That's kind of cheap, if you ask me. I could have swore he fought in the octagon because weren't people clowning Mayweather saying, yo, he's got chicken legs, he's not gonna win. I could have swore that was like a thing people were saying. Huh. Okay, well then I had that backwards. You learn something new every day. Know what I'm saying? You learn something new. Events. I don't know why I'm looking at current events because it's always sad. They never say anything nice. yeah. So, but that's the only time I ever heard about Conor was when him and Mayweather fought. So I didn't hear about him before, and I actually didn't really hear about him after. And I would say this is probably it for him, no? Because that kind of injury takes a long time to heal. Like the rehab that he's got to go through, just the healing process by itself. I'm talking physically. I feel like he might be done, especially to fight in his level. You know, I don't know. I'm not. You know, I'm not trying to say he doesn't have it in him, but I'm just saying like that kind of injury is no freaking joke, man. But I've actually been thinking about, speaking of fighting, I'm trying to get back into shape. All right. Just on this last weekend trip, I went on a jog with one of my buddies on the beach. It was a lot of us, but this one particular bud, his name is Jake. He is in shape. Like he is one of the pinnacles of in shape. And in our friend group, Jake is like the healthiest and most fit guy in it, you know. And it's kind of like a joke, or like not a joke, but like it's like a thing, you know, in the group that Jake is freaking fit, and you know that's his thing. That's his thing. He freaking jogs everywhere, bikes everywhere, eats super healthy, goes to bed early, wakes up early. Like, dude, this guy has got it on freaking lock. But sorry, Milo is freaking laying on the door, and he scared me. So then I went on a jog with him, knowing that I was going to have to push me, not regularly working out, not eating the greatest, you know, insomniac. I was like, I'm gonna run with Jake because I know he's gonna push me. I'm gonna feel like I'm gotta push myself to keep up with him. So we went on a jog. We went pretty far, and it was a kick in the pants. But anyway, trying to get back into shape. I am. When I started the pod, I was in good shape, and then I gained a lot of weight. Then I dropped it. A lot of it, not all of it. I still want to get much better than where I am right now. And I want to actually get into actual healthy shape. I want to look good. You know, I want to feel good. I want to look good. So I started looking at going into kickboxing. Finding a nice... what do they call those? Like a dojo? No, just a kickboxing club or something locally, and signing up and, you know, going every morning. But it's expensive, man. Freaking these things cost. I want to go into kickboxing for a couple reasons, right? Getting in shape is one. Two, just try it'd be in the mornings. The schedules that I found would really fit in the morning schedule, and I feel like that would really like kind of put me in a good routine, you know, like build up a nice routine to wake up that early, and like that discipline, build that discipline. And another thing is like, dude, if I were to get jumped in the middle of the street, I lose every time. I lose. I'm not a good contender, and I want to actually be a force to be reckoned with, you know? Like if I want to be able to have even odds out in the streets, cuz like yeah. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to learn how to defend myself so I can protect me and my family. So yeah, but it's pretty expensive. I guess at the end of the day, you just got to set your priorities. And you got to figure out what's a priority, what isn't, and what you want to sacrifice to get what you really need, you know? So I'm just educating myself on that right now. I might need to go back to the books, figure out what I can sacrifice, and open up that budge so I can actually be fit. What I'm doing is I got the camera, and hopefully, right? I suck at videos, at putting out the video on the podcast channel. But I know that every 30 minutes it times out. And I have this little battery adapter that connects to the camera so it doesn't die of battery, and I don't need to make sure it's charged. So that's going to help me tons. But it still times out. It stops every 30 minutes on the recording because of overheating and stuff, I think. I don't know. So I have this awesome watch that I got, the Garmin, and goes back to my fitness talk right now. This awesome Garmin watch. I set a timer on it, 30 minutes. Let me know. But there's like tons of apps on here that tracks like workout stuff and like hikes. It has like a GPS thing. I'm not sponsored, but freaking go get it. It's awesome. It goes on sale quite often on freaking Amazon, so go ahead and get you one, man. But yeah, talking back about fitness. Yeah, I'm a pretty I'm an independent person. I like doing things by myself, but like I'm still kind of like I guess shy. I don't know what the real word is, but like it's just like uncomfortable, you know, like especially going like in this setting where everyone's very familiar with, except for like me, the newcomer, early in the morning. It'd be much better if I had a buddy, but I don't have a lot of friends here that would want to do that, especially wake up that early. So I don't, I'd go by myself, which is cool. It's cool once I get into the rhythm of it. Once I go there, I meet everyone. You know what I'm saying? I'll be fine, but it's just like it's starting that, and then it's waking up. I have to get up at like 4:30 in the morning to get ready to be there at 5, and then work out for an hour and kickbox, and then go to work. But if you guys hold me accountable to it, here it is. If I get, I'm setting the bars low too because I'm trying to get myself to go. If I get 10 likes, all right, it's not that hard. If I get 10 freaking likes, I will go ahead and do it. Like I'm going to say, all right, this is a must now. If I get 10 likes, go over to the YouTube channel. The video's up. If it's not, then freaking comment like on, or send me a DM saying like on freaking, you know what? Send me a DM of like a dude lifting weights, like the little emoji of a dude lifting weights on the Shamban Pod at Instagram. If I get 10 of those individually or 10 likes, I will go ahead and do it. I'll figure out how to prove that I'm doing it. I'll probably post it on like the Instagram. I'll post a story of me there and stuff. You know, my watch will tell the time. It's on freaking satellite time thing. I didn't set it. It knows what time it is. I'm not lying to you guys, but I'll do it. So I'm setting the bar, I think, pretty low. I mean, 10 likes. I guess I'm saying pretty low because I see all these other channels are like, dude, if I get 500 or like freaking 5,000 likes, then we'll do this, or 10,000 or 100,000 likes, then I'm gonna do this thing right here. But I'm gonna go 10. You know, I think that's actually setting it pretty high for my channel because I don't have a lot of freaking people that go onto the YouTube. So doing 10, like if you guys get 10, you really want, you're like saying, dude, you are out of shape and you need this. This is for your own good. So, yeah, then we'll do it. Okay. All right. It's said. I'm not even going to post this on, it's going to be cheating for you guys because you got to tune into the pod. You got to have listened to it this far, this specific point to know the challenge. So if I post this on my story, it's cheating because you didn't do the work. Okay, you didn't do the work. You're cheating. 100 episodes though. Think about that. 100 episodes. The Basement Yard. Joe Sanagato. He just did his 300th episode of the Basement Yard. That means I've done a third of what he's done, and and he does a weekly podcast too, like mine. So like. I could have swore that he had way more episodes than I did. If I hadn't gone on my hiatus, if I hadn't not posted regularly, I think I would have had at least 20 more episodes, I think. So I mean, almost like halfway. Like I started the podcast. That's like kind of no, not really. We're not there yet. But I was gonna say it's like if I started the podcast comparatively to like my time right now. I'm destroying this metaphor. I'm going to not continue it. You gotta learn when to not continue a metaphor. Anyway, I got this cool little setup going right here. Very just out of the blue. I was like, first I was just going to do audio for this episode since it's just coming back. And then I was like, I kind of want a video, and then it ended up being here. And this is probably why I make things so hard on myself. It's just so hard on myself to freaking do, because then I figure out all these different ways to make it more complicated to do this same thing every week. And another reason actually that I wanted to talk about as to why I took the time off of podcasting, and I did mention it before I left the air, was I wanted to focus on my music, because that's something I've really wanted to actually know how to do. I want to make music. Okay, I just want to make good music, and practice makes perfect. So I was trying to invest every creative inkling that I got. Like podcasts, it takes about 30 minutes to an hour to record it, and then it takes another couple minutes to bounce it and then upload it, and then a couple hours depending on the angles, or not even long at all. It doesn't take too long, I think, if it's just one angle on camera, to edit the video and post that. But again, I get creative and I try to do these things with it that makes it more complicated. But anyway, so all that time, I was like, I want to invest all that time into actually making music and furthering my musical knowledge and knowing how to actually make music and feel good about my music. So I uploaded one song, which was Neon Skies, a while back. I thought it was okay. Don't like it because I made it, right? Posted Jaws. I don't know if I was active on the podcast when I actually ended up finishing that one, but posted Jaws. I like that one better, but the more I listen to it, the more, or the further it goes, the more I'm like, because when I posted that one, I thought that it was a pretty good step up from Neon Skies. I thought it was, but the longer the more time passes, the more I'm like, yo, they're kind of the same level. I think there's some more musical elements that I did better on Jaws. Like my vocals, I think, were a little better. The layers that I used are a little better. I feel like a bit of the theory was better as well. But overall, I don't think it was to the level that I thought I had it. That song took so freaking long to finish. Oh my gosh. Because, I think I spent, 3 months. I think it was probably done, for the most part, for 3 months. But I just kept messing with it and EQ this and EQ that. I didn't have a de-esser plugin, so then I ended up freaking... Dude, a lot of my time was actually trying to figure out the best possible sounding vocals that didn't have the harsh S sounds without using a de-esser. And that, for a beginner like me, was time consuming, but I was trying. A lot of freaking long nights working on that dumb song, man. I ended up, because I got to the point where I was working on it so much, I ended up hating it. And then it's you can't make a good song if you don't already, you know what I'm saying? If you already don't like it when you're editing it, how are you supposed to freaking develop it more? If you got any tips for that kind of thing, let me know. Because that's one thing that I think I have trouble with is I'll start the song and I'll have this idea in my head. That's when the best things happen, right? You have this one melody or something in your head, you lay that down, and then you build off of that. But then as you build up enough, then the more you freaking repeat it, I know people say don't Don't loop it and listen to it over and over again. But sometimes that just ends up happening when I'm trying to figure out more things to add, or like different parts of the song, like to transform this part into a different part of the song. But then I just end up listening to like that same rhythm, that same key, and then it's just, I hate it. And you know what? I think it might be because I'm still new. I don't work as efficiently as people who are experienced producers who know exactly, or who can work faster with it so that they spend less time listening to it over and over again. I think that's what it might be. Also, I need to download more like samples, more presets for like more sounds, and stuff, because I don't have too much. Also, more plugins. Like I didn't have a de-esser. What kind of plugins do I have here? Waves is my favorite store, man. I have quite a bit. I have like CLA Vocals. Apparently CLA Vocals is like people have this love-hate relationship with it. If you know anything about that, let me know. I have the F6 real time or whatever, the EQ. I have RM bass. That was when I did lo-fi stuff. Shelps, Vocal Writer. I don't know how to use Vocal Writer that much. It looked cool and I thought I knew what it was talking about, but I don't. I think I need to look at more videos. I got Smack Attack Stereo, Waves Tune, because you need to have at least a little bit of auto-tune in your voices, in your vocals, especially if you don't have perfect pitch. I got a fair amount of plugins. I have my de-esser now. De-esser is like so important, man, because I wanted to work on getting warmer vocals, and de-essers like really help getting that warm sound going. I haven't made a song. I think I have like, since Jaws, I think I've got four different ideas that I've created. Yeah, that I was working on, but now I hate them, right? Because I worked on them too much. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to work on my music. I wanted to make good music. I just need to practice more. Practice makes perfect. I need to invest more time. I need to free up more time, and I need to find the time to keep practicing. I do want to keep going with the podcast. This is like my warm-up, coming back into it. It's been a long time. My mojo is off. A lot of episodes are like this, though. So maybe I need a guest. Maybe I do need a guest. Maybe I need to talk about current events. Or maybe, just maybe, I need you to help me out and let me know what you want me to talk about. If you guys have anything to suggest, if you guys want to talk to me about what to talk about, send me a DMs on Instagram. If you don't have an Instagram, send me a message on Facebook. Hopefully I see it. I'm really rarely on Facebook. If we're really old school, or if you have any inquiries, if you want to sponsor me, which would be awesome, you can hit me up. Send me a message at shamanpod@gmail. No, Kevin. Sorry. Kevin M at G. Can I speak? I can't say anything, man. Kevin M at shambanpod.com. Send me an email for any inquiries if you want to let me know what you want me to talk about, or for anything else. I think I'm going to end it here because, yeah, I think it's a good time to end this coming back episode. So for all of you guys who listen to this whole thing, thank you so much for listening, for staying true to the podcast. I really appreciate how much of you guys actually did enjoy the podcast, or do, because I'm going to keep going. And yeah, you don't know when you got something good until you don't have it. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's happened to me on multiple occasions. So I'm going to make this not be that, So anyway, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.